Hello everyone, this is Amit Lathigra. In this video, I'm demonstrating a third type of if statement, that is if else ladder. In previous video, I demonstrated if else statement with an example of checking a possibility of year, whether it is a leap or not. And in this video, I'm demonstrating a third type of if statement. So if else ladder. Basically, if we are having a more than two situations which is needed to evaluate, and out of these multiple situations, only one will be considered as a true. For example, I am having two numbers, say 20 and 35. So I want to check in possibility whether this is a first number, that is a 20. Is it less than the second number, that is 35? Or this 20 is, say, greater than the second number, which is a 35? Last possibility, whether both are same or not. So there are three possibilities. Either first number is less than second one, or greater than second one, or both are equal. So out of these three possibilities, only one can be true at a time. Another example, say I'm having a student's mark and I want to check whether that mark, whatever the mark out of 100, mapped with grade like A plus, A, B plus, B, C plus, C, D, and F. So out of these all possibilities, only one can be true at a time. Another possibility, I'm having a student percentage and I want to check whether student received a distinction result or a first class or a second class or a pass class or a fail. So out of these all, only one can be true at a time. So for such kind of possibilities, we can use if else statement. Let's consider our original example. I'm having the two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Let's check whether number 1 is greater than number 2 or less than number 2, or both are equal. And let's draw a flow chart first. It begins with start. It's a time to take input from the user. So let's say input is number 1 and number 2. Next, to check a very first condition, let's have diamond symbol, and this condition is to check whether number 1 is greater than number 2 or not. So two possibilities, either this is true or false. So let's consider what if this is true. So in this case, straight away message is number 1 is greater than number 2. So output symbol that display number 1 is greater than number 2. What if this is false? In this case, another possibility is number 1 less than number 2? So we require another diamond symbol is number 1 less than number 2. Again, two possibilities. What if this is true? What if this is false? So if this is true, then straight away we need to specify a message is display number 1 is less than number 2. If both the conditions are false, number 1 is not greater than number 2, number 1 is not less than number 2, then only possibility is both are same. So display number 1 is equal to number 2, both are same. And after that, it's a common place to end the program. So our stop symbol. So this is a very basic flowchart demonstrating if else ladder. Start taking two numbers, checking conditions one after another. So this second condition will be evaluated only and only if first condition is false. And third will be evaluated only and only if previous two are false. Let's check its practical implementation in Scratch now. So we require two variables. So let's go to the variable section. Let's make two variables. First is number 1 and second one is number 2. We need to take an input from the user. So we can go to the various possibilities. Here we require if else ladder. So various blocks I'm keeping here. And to take input, our ask block. Let's give a message as enter number 1. Let's wait. So whatever the value entered by the user, that I want to set to number 1. We need to duplicate the same process again. That is for number 2. Now input is ready. Let's check the first possibility, that is number 1 greater than number 2. What if this is true? So in this case, we need to send a message. So let me go to the a block to display a message. So that is a say block. So say I want to display a message that number 1 is greater than number 2. So we can use a join block that number 1 is greater than number 2. So I display a value of number 1 and is greater than. Finally, I want to display a message that is number 2 and I want to join this together and this will be my output. Else, if else ladder. My another possibility, what if this number 1 is less than number 2? We don't require this block. If this is true, then let's display a message that number 1 is less than number 2. Else The final possibilities, number 1 is equal to number 2. So this is the complete flow chart. Let's check an output. Enter number 1. So let me specify number 1 is 25. Number 2 is 35. So number 1 and number 2. $25 is less than 35. Let's execute it again. Enter number 1. In this case, I want to keep number 1 as 50. Number 2 as 40. So 50 is greater than 40. Let's execute one more time. Let's keep both the numbers equal as 25. So number 1 is 25. Number 2 is 25. So 25 is equivalent to 25. So this is a simple explanation of if else ladder. I hope you enjoyed this video. In next video, I'll demonstrate fourth type of if statement, that is nested if. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good time ahead.